What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Duval Again Show. I'm host Zach. You find me on Twitter at the corner here. I'm gonna discuss this last Sunday's game against the Miami Dolphins that unfortunately our Jaguars lost 10-20. I'm gonna give you like a brief recap of the game and my thoughts on it. And then I might touch on a little bit on next week's games against the Cleveland Browns. Joe, just make sure to like and subscribe, and remember this Duval Again Show, so let's get it. Sorry. So, topic of the game. I know a lot of us are still trying to figure out who's calling plays, and with Doug not admitting who's calling plays, I'm starting to lean more that it's Press Taylor still, and he just is trying to cover for Press because this offense is not good. The O-line can't block consistently. This whole game seemed like a mess. Not saying there wasn't positives, but as a whole, offensively, something's wrong. Some people trying to blame it with Trevor. Some people trying to dig not on Doug Pearson. Some people trying on Etienne's fumble. Which all these did play a role. But the biggest two issues I personally think were Etienne's fumble, which kind of did shock me because I thought he had cleared it up after his rookie year, and hopefully it was just a fluke. But if that fumbling issue, like near the goal line, things back, take a spot. That's not acceptable because, again, he was doing it all his rookie year, and now he's doing it again. He didn't lose any fumbles last year, so hopefully it was just like a got hit freak. But just something we need to keep an eye on. And also, I need to put on some of this has to go on Trent Baalke. We knew this offensive line wasn't great. Tone Harrison, who is normally our best tackle, was getting beat all day. Brandon Sheriff can't run block anymore. He can pass block. His pass block is great. Run blocking is a shot. Mitch Morse did decent. Ezra Cleveland did kind of know what he's at. And Cam, we kind of know what he's at too. There were a few plays like the fourth down at the 32, which is a terrible play call. We should have punted that ball. That Cam and Ezra Cleveland just got beat bad. Which hopefully it was just the Miami, even though Miami doesn't have great D linemen, not like what we're going to be playing in Cleveland next week or with Cleveland next week. So that needs to get cleaned up. Like I said, the offensive play calling as a whole was bad. Trevor only had 7 passes the second half. The run game wasn't working, and then we kept trying to force it. Which is funny because, most of us when we want to run it, he's throwing it 50 times. I don't know what's up with this. It's just looked disjointed. There was some highlights like Brian Thomas Jr. As y'all see, this dude's he's gonna be something special. After getting the pass interference call on Ramsey and then getting a touchdown on Ramsey, seems not for him, but the rest of the offense, Kirk was randomly dropping passes, which he's normally our more sure-handed receiver. So that was an issue. Well, some were saying that maybe the time he missed in camp with his injuries to throw him off, but he played some games. Him and Trevor know each other. It's not like it's a new quarterback or it's a new system. Some of these drops were just unnecessary. Evan Ingram just disappeared, which is not like him, which is what the issue last year was, which leads me to believe that Press Taylor's still calling the plays. Because when Doug and a lot of it, because even Ingram's with his 114 catches last year, a lot of that was short dump offs. It was like he was the option. So we'll see how that goes. Doug Pearson needs to call plays, and if he is calling the plays 100%, then he needs to get his hand out of his and figure out what's going on, because this is not what Trevor's a $250 million plan. He's not turning the ball over, which is good, but like some of his stuff is his reads seem off. The plays are coming in late, which I don't get. This is year 3 in the system. It should play should boom, 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 boom. There was no reason we should have lost that game. We had the defense played out of its mind. They were doing great all game, to eventually they just broke. With Waddle giving up a 66 yards drive, then Tyreek Hill's 80-yard touchdown. It was too much. And then Doug Peterson throwing Ron Nielsen underneath the bus. That's unacceptable, Doug. Nielsen's playing that. This defense looks better than as before. That defense looked good. Just kind of just broke at the end, which is way better than your offense. You need to start admitting that Press Taylor is the option, but is an issue. But Press is his friend. Even after the press conference, is one of the reasons why I'm waiting a day to post this, because I was trying to see what Doug was seeing in press conference. He looked on edge. Like he didn't even know all the answers, which is not great as a head coach. Unfortunately, the answer that needed to be done was Prescott should have got fired last year. That's Doug's boy. Doug lost his job in Philly because he wouldn't let go of Press Taylor. Which you got to admire some loyalty, but at the same end, though, it's like if you don't have a job, he's not going to have a job either. So I was like, even if you're protecting him, you're going to lose your own job too. That's a lot. So hopefully they get back on the page with this next week against the Browns, but at least offensively, Gabe Davis looked okay on the offense, but again, that fourth quarter or after Etienne's fumble, it's like the offense went in a shell and was trying to be super conservative, which is the issue last year. No, we got to shut down. We got to keep your hand on the throat. There is a fine line between being competitive and aggressive and not playing not to lose. You have to be careful with that. Just like that going for on the R32, we should have punted that. Like I mentioned, the D-line looked good. For put a more positive on this, our D-line looked good. Trayvon Walker with the 2 sacks. Eric Armstead with a sack. Josh Allen was getting close and then helping the other guys eat. Eric Armstead, I think, is going to play a huge difference. Him and Walker. Now that we have someone else in the middle. So that way, if someone steps up, we have guys who can get the sacks, which was great to see. For Luakun, I love you, man, but his hands, he needs to do on the ETN or not the Evan Ingram catching drills and just catch every day after practice, because he could have had like two interceptions if he just torched his hands. Great tackler, but his hands just got him. Antonio Johnson had a bad day at safety. Hopefully, just because of the speed, he was overthinking his first game starting. But hopefully that gets cleaned up. Tyson Campbell getting hurt again with a hamstring, and that Doug's saying he's going to miss some time. This is why a lot of us were kind of on the fence about paying him yet. Like me personally, I would have paid Cisco first and then him, but we'll see how long he's out and if he comes back. Because I mean, if hamstrings usually linger, and then after last year's hamstring, and he was not the same at all. So hopefully that's not a repeat of last year, because that was a mess at corner. We should go out and get some corners, but I don't really know what's left on the free agent market, because I think the best one was Stephon Gilmore, and he's with the Vikings. We'll see, but this defense is going to end up being on the field a lot, and then eventually they're going to start breaking, just like what happened this game if this offense is not cleaning itself up. There isn't, like I said, people can put blame on a bunch of different people, but Trevor needs to play better. I mean, he didn't play awful, but a lot of this, if these calls coming in, they're bad, he needs to auto or something else every time, and just take over, because this is getting really bad. Maybe we should, like, I'm not on the fence. I'm not on that person like, oh, we shouldn't have paid Trevor yet. Because you just saw Dak just get 60. And then Brock Purdy's going to come up behind him, and so it's gonna get expensive as quarterbacks. I just don't want us to be like a Cardinal situation with like Kyler Murray's there and has the big contract, and they're just not. They're okay. They're not great. This is starting to look like, and I feel like we're better than that. I feel like we have the team. We should be we should be winning this game. Again, it's only week 1, and week 1 is a lot of week 1s are flukes. Like even last year, the chance if Chiefs lost week 1 and then came back to win the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying that Jacksonville was going to win the Super Bowl. No. But I'm saying what happens week 1 doesn't have to be the end of your entire season. Unless like barring like an injury or something. But it's getting, and I mean, Doug Pearson's seat's getting hot. Khan's already said, I expect to win. So hopefully he stands by that as long as there's not major injuries and lights the fire under Doug's butt, because this is the only downside is I think Ryan Nielsen's is a great DC, and so it'd be sad if he has to go, but some of this isn't working. I think that's basically I've touched on all the issues I think we have. Now with the Browns coming, Deshaun Watson's not looking great, so we better not make him look great. Myles Garrett can ruin the whole game, so we feel like we need to have someone near him where he's at and help chip block him, whether that's Ingram or Strange or somebody, because he can ruin a game, and that's 0-2. That's a whole different game than 1-1. It's just that's what we gotta move on. We gotta show that that week 1 is just a fluke. The offense needs to start clicking. I don't know if it's the routes need to change, but they need to step up. But yeah, with that, I'll be back next week. We'll talk about the Browns game. Hopefully we'll be talking about a win. It'll be less melancholy, but like I said, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then follow me on X if you want some more insight. But always remember, it's